Tesla's simplest car ever built demands the most complicated factory in automotive history. That sentence should not make sense. And yet, inside Giga Texas, right now, that is exactly what is happening. The Cybercab has more than 50% fewer parts than a Model 3. 2 seats, no steering wheel, no pedals. Almost nothing to install compared to a normal car. So why does building it require a production system stranger and more demanding than anything Tesla has ever attempted? According to supply chain and manufacturing analyses coming out of Giga Texas, many manufacturing specialists suggest this no longer resembles a conventional assembly plant at all. They describe something closer to a hyper-optimized money-printing machine. Here's the contradiction that should stop you cold. Tesla has never once mass-produced a vehicle under $35,000. Not once in its entire history. Every attempt to go cheap has ended in delay, compromise, or quiet cancellation. And now this same company claims it will build millions of ultra-affordable Cybercabs every single year. So either Elon Musk is telling us something that cannot possibly be true, or the secret was never the car at all. Maybe the secret is how the factory learned to play with Lego blocks. Stay with me, because what you are about to hear changes how you look at every car ever made. The fatal weakness hiding inside every car factory on Earth. Walk into any traditional automotive plant, including Tesla's own Model Y line, and you will see the same century-old choreography. Hundreds of stamped metal panels arrive. They get welded into a body structure. That body crawls into the paint shop, gets cleaned, primed, coated, and baked. Then it enters final assembly, a line that can stretch for literal miles. At that point, the vehicle is nothing but an empty shell. One station at a time, it receives the wiring harness, then the air conditioning, then windows, carpeting, seats, dashboard, doors, steering wheel, brakes, and hundreds of other components. Every single vehicle must pass through those stations in a locked sequence. Station 47 cannot begin until Station 46 finishes. It works. Henry Ford proved it works. But it hides a weakness so severe that it has quietly cost the automotive industry billions. Think of it as a domino bottleneck. One welding robot goes offline. One cable arrives 5 seconds late. One electrical connector refuses to seat properly. And the entire mile-long line, thousands of workers, thousands of machines, all of it slows down or stops dead. Now let me show you the math that keeps manufacturing engineers awake at night. Imagine a single station running just 3 seconds behind on every vehicle. 3 seconds, less time than it takes you to blink twice. Now scale that against a target of 2 million vehicles per year. 3 seconds multiplied across 2 million units comes out to roughly 6 million seconds of lost time. That is more than 1,600 hours of factory operation evaporating into nothing every year from one tiny delay at one station. Convert those dead hours into unbuilt vehicles and idle capital, and you are staring at hundreds of millions of dollars lying motionless on a conveyor belt. That is from 3 seconds. Imagine what a real breakdown costs. Tesla learned this lesson the hard way, and it nearly destroyed the company. Elon Musk gave it a name that has since entered manufacturing folklore: production hell. During the Model 3 ramp, Musk believed extreme automation could solve almost every problem. Reality disagreed violently. Tesla ended up ripping machinery out of the factory, bringing human workers back onto the line, and rebuilding the entire system while burning cash at a terrifying rate. So here is the question Tesla had to answer before a single Cybercab existed. If you take that same linear line, swap a few robots, and start assembling a simpler vehicle on it, what actually happens to your costs? The uncomfortable answer is almost nothing. Musk has openly admitted Tesla does not want a vehicle this simple crawling through hundreds of stations the way cars have been built for over 100 years. Even with half the parts removed, a linear line carries so much structural overhead in floor space, travel distance, and sequential dependency that manufacturing costs would never fall below the $30,000 threshold. And a robotaxi that costs $30,000 to build is not a revolution. It is just another expensive Tesla with fewer seats, which means the car was never the problem. The line was Unboxed, the Lego code that breaks 100 years of habit. This is where Tesla does something almost nobody in the industry was willing to try. Instead of placing an entire vehicle on one long line and installing components in sequence, Tesla breaks the Cybercab into large modules built in parallel. The front section gets assembled in one area, the rear section somewhere else entirely, the floor with the battery pack and seats on another branch, doors on another, exterior body panels on another. Each module travels its own path, completely independent of the others. Only at the very end do these finished modules converge at a central integration zone and get joined into a complete Cybercab. You may have heard the name for this, the Unboxed process. But the name tells you almost nothing about why it is so devastatingly clever. The magic is accessibility. In a traditional car, once you weld that body shut, you have created a cave. Every subsequent operation means reaching through a door opening, contorting a robotic arm into a cramped cabin, threading wiring harnesses through blind channels. With Unboxed, the modules stay open, wide open. Robots and workers reach in from multiple directions at once. Seats bolt directly onto the floor and battery assembly before any upper structure exists. Wiring gets installed while every connection point sits in plain sight. Picture it this way. Instead of building an entire house from foundation to roof and then hauling furniture through the front door, you finish each room separately, fully painted and fully furnished, and only then crane the rooms together into a completed home. The knock-on effects are enormous. Less factory floor space, shorter travel distances for components, multiple processes happening simultaneously instead of waiting in line. And critically, if one branch hits a problem, the other branches keep running instead of the entire plant freezing. But I want to show you something about this architecture that goes far beyond the Cybercab, and this is where it gets genuinely interesting. If the reasoning behind this modular architecture holds up the way analysts have described it, then the Cybercab may not be the real prize at all. It may simply be the opening move. Consider what parallel module production actually gives you: front, rear, left, right, and bottom sections all built independently. Now suppose Tesla wants a conventional affordable car, the $25,000 vehicle people have speculated about for years. In theory, Tesla would not need a new factory or a restructured line. Swap the front module for one containing a steering wheel and steer-by-wire controls. Adjust the interior module, and the same production system could begin building an entirely different vehicle. Same robots, same integration zone, same floor space. Under that reading, Tesla is not building a robotaxi line. Tesla is building a vehicle-agnostic manufacturing platform and using the Cybercab as its first test subject. So if this is such an obvious win, why has it taken so long? Because assembling modules separately is the easy part. Anyone can do that. The brutal challenge is delivering every module to the integration point at exactly the right second, in exactly the right position, with tolerances measured in fractions of a millimeter. Miss by a hair and nothing bolts together. The timeline proves how hard this is. Tesla introduced the Unboxed concept back in 2023. By 2026, roughly 70% of the production line is complete. 3 years of calculating speeds, ratios, sequencing, and millimeter-level tolerances for every module in the system. And it still is not finished, which is exactly why Cybercab production has not ramped as fast as many expected. Understand what Tesla is actually solving here. This stopped being a mechanical engineering problem a long time ago. This is an AI and robotic synchronization matrix. Thousands of robots, thousands of sensors, controllers, and transport systems all converging with the precision of one colossal clock. Tesla is betting it can make that clock tick faster than any linear assembly line on Earth. And that is only the first of the strange technologies inside this factory. The billion-dollar paint shop, Tesla, simply deleted. Look at a Cybercab and one thing hits you immediately: that yellow. You cannot confuse this vehicle with anything else on the road, day or night. Early prototypes appeared in matte yellow, while production versions moved to a glossy finish. But almost nobody realizes that yellow is not painted on, not the way Tesla paints a Model Y or Model 3. The color forms inside the material itself during the molding of the exterior panels. To understand why that matters, you need to understand what a paint shop really is. According to widely cited automotive industry analyses, the paint shop can consume up to 40% of a plant's initial capital investment, with figures often placed somewhere between $500 million and $1 billion for a single facility. It is the most energy-hungry building on the entire site. Cleaning stages, surface treatment, corrosion protection, primer, base coat, clear coat, then massive curing ovens. Wrapped around all of it sits obsessive air filtration, dust management, chemical handling, and temperature control. One speck of dust landing at the wrong moment can send an entire body panel back for rework. Now ask yourself the question Musk clearly asked. For a vehicle designed to run continuously as an affordable robotaxi, does it make any sense to spend hours and hundreds of millions of dollars chasing a flawless showroom paint finish? Tesla's answer is reaction injection molding, or RIM. Two liquid components inject into a mold. They react chemically, harden, and form a polymer exterior panel with its shape, surface finish, and color already essentially complete. The panel emerges from the mold already wearing that signature yellow. Hours of processing collapse into minutes. And when RIM combines with Unboxed, something elegant happens. Body panels no longer need to be installed early. They get molded separately, inspected separately, finished separately, and attached near the very end. No more robots and workers scratching finished paint while installing interiors and electrical systems for dozens of operations. Here is where the math becomes almost hard to believe. Strip out the paint shop entirely, then compress the line using parallel modules instead of miles of sequential stations. Analysts examining this approach suggest the resulting factory footprint could shrink by roughly half compared to a conventional plant. Follow that logic to its conclusion, and Tesla could potentially build two complete unboxed factories on the same land, and for a similar capital outlay that a traditional manufacturer spends on one. That is not a better car. That is a different economics of manufacturing entirely. But before anyone declares victory, RIM carries real risk, and this deserves honest scrutiny. Those polymer panels must survive brutal sunlight, extreme heat, freezing winters, road debris, harsh car wash, chemicals, and thousands of thermal expansion cycles across the vehicle's life. Color consistency must hold across panels molded weeks or months apart. If a door emerges even slightly off-shade from the surrounding body, that mismatch becomes glaringly obvious under certain light. So let me put the honest question directly to you. Can RIM polymer panels genuinely endure 40 to 50 degrees Celsius outdoor heat and relentless UV exposure for 5 straight years without fading? chalking, or turning brittle? Do you trust traditional painted steel more, or do you believe this molded polymer approach is the smarter engineering choice? Tell me in the comments, because engineers are genuinely split on this one. The Uptime Obsession. Why robots now clean. The robots. Roughly 500 Cybercabs currently exist, testing across multiple U.S. states, and some fleets have already begun operating with no human supervisor inside the vehicle at all, which creates a problem nobody thinks about until it ruins everything. A robotaxi only generates revenue while it is moving. Every minute it sits waiting for a human to vacuum a seat or wipe a camera lens is a minute of pure loss. Multiply that across a fleet of thousands and cleaning stops being janitorial work. It becomes the central economic variable of the entire business. Worse, dirt is a safety failure. Food smeared on a seat is unpleasant. Mud covering a camera lens makes the vehicle effectively blind. So Tesla is building a two-layer self-maintenance ecosystem. Layer 1 lives on board. Small cleaning nozzles sit near the cameras. When sensors detect obstruction, the system sprays washer fluid or compressed air and clears the lens almost instantly. Think windshield wipers, except designed for the artificial eyes of an AI driver. The vehicle no longer needs to abandon a shift because one camera got splashed. Layer 2 waits at dedicated service hubs. The vehicle drives itself back, doors open, and a large robotic arm reaches into the cabin. That arm automatically swaps between attachments. One vacuums trash, dirt, and crumbs. A gripper retrieves forgotten water bottles and bags. A soft pad wipes seats, door handles, and the large touchscreen without scratching anything. No human stands nearby. Then come the washing lanes. Not neighborhood car washes, but purpose-built indoor facilities where automated systems clean the entire exterior, including wheels and awkward recesses. From there, the vehicle recharges, receives a quick technical inspection, and rejoins the road. Some hubs may combine all these services in one location purely to minimize downtime. And the system extends to passenger behavior. Tesla could automatically charge a cleaning fee for excessive mess, spilled food, or vomiting, which quietly pressures riders into treating the vehicles better while removing yet another human decision from the loop. In the simplest terms, imagine an entire staff of robotic cleaners standing by around the clock so that a driverless fleet never stops earning. Step back and look at what is really happening at Giga Texas. The Cybercab is not an electric car with the steering wheel removed. It is a live prototype for a manufacturing revolution, a test case for whether unboxed modular assembly, molded in color, and fully automated fleet maintenance can rewrite rules that have gone essentially unchallenged since Henry Ford. If it works, the affordable car problem that has defeated Tesla for a decade stops being a car problem at all. But here is where it gets genuinely contentious. Many veteran manufacturing experts in Germany and Japan remain deeply unconvinced. They argue the unboxed module system and rim polymer bodies amount to expensive theater, a system that looks brilliant in presentations, but cannot hold real-world tolerances or long-term durability at scale. Meanwhile, automation engineers on the other side insist this is the Model T moment of the 21st century, and that traditional plants simply will not be able to compete on cost once it matures. So, where do you stand? Are you in the skeptic camp, convinced the physics and the tolerances will eventually humble Tesla again? Or do you believe Elon Musk is about to reshape the entire automotive industry for the second time? Drop your answer in the comments and be specific because I read them. If this breakdown showed you something you had not considered before, hit that like button and subscribe so you do not miss what comes next. In the next episode of this series, we go deeper into the integration zone itself, the exact moment those modules meet, and the robotics problem Tesla still has not fully solved. That is where this entire bet gets won or lost. See you there.